Just let me know when we're live.
Yep. Taking a few seconds. That's interesting. Okay. I think, yes, we are live.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the subcommittee meeting for Housing and Real Property for March 10th, 2026. We will be voting on a few bills and discussing one. Just for a clarification of our agenda, we will be discussing and voting on House Bill 149, House Bill 168, and House Bill 993. House Bill 382, which is originally on the schedule, are going to have a brief discussion on that bill and update the amendments. We will hold off on voting on that bill today based on some new information that we have received in regards to some federal guidelines. We want to make sure that we are moving in the right order. So with that said, we're going to move right into the bill. So Ben, if you can go ahead and get us started, remind us this wonderful bill from the bill sponsor is a wonderful person, House Bill 149. If you can please, Ben, give us a quick update on what this bill does, and then the amendments, and then we'll have the sponsor briefly give us an update, and then we'll discuss and likely vote.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For House Bill 149, the amendments should have been sent out, the most recent version, with the start of the subcommittee announcement for the subcommittee members. With this bill, the subcommittee did discuss this bill last week. However, based on some updated fiscal information, there's been the new amendments that are the ones that have been sent out. Primarily what the amendments are doing, based on what we discussed last week, is the amendments are still making some technical corrections and some corrections based on testimony from Montgomery County related to access travel distances and fire pumps. But the most substantive portion of the amendments are speaking to the licensing requirements that are in the bill. So there was the amendments previously had struck language about the State Fire Prevention Commission adopting regulations to establish a license and regulate fire alarm system technicians. That language is back in.
And then I will turn it over to Delegate Charkoudian, Madam Vice Chair, to provide some context on the bill, where it stands. She can describe that as brief as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, so here's what happened. You already voted this out. If it sounds familiar, we voted at the end of last session. What had happened was that we had the full bill in front of us, which included the training component, a licensing component, and a requirement that after 40% of a building's value has increased, it has to add sprinklers. Because of the fiscal impact, we had requested to Appropriations Committee approval, and we thought that we had to bring the price of the bill down below $100,000. It was $300,000 to set up the licensing component. We thought we had to bring it down, but then Appropriations came back and approved us for the full $300,000. And so basically, you already voted on most of it. We're just putting the licensing back in. And this, just to remind folks, is licensing for, right now, if you're a sprinkler technician, you're licensed, but on these buildings that are not sprinklered, the folks who go in and fix the fire alarms and maintain all the rest of the life safety equipment have no licensing, no requirements. And so the idea is that buildings that are already less safe, because they don't have sprinklers, end up with a lower standard for the people who are dealing with those bills. So, with those systems. So my request is that because we already moved the bill, we just move it now with a new set of amendments instead of the old set of amendments. Happy to answer any questions.
All right. So are you putting that motion on the table? Is that
I didn't know if there were questions before that. I'll move the amendments.
Second.
All right. Amendments have been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Amendments move favorably. All right.
Move the bill as amended.
Second.
Bill has been moved as amended. we will pause for questions. Any questions from members of the committee? Seeing none, we will move to a vote on the bill. All those in favor of the bill as amended, vote aye. Put your hand up so I can see your hands. Okay, all right. It's like, oh, we got unanimous. I like those kind of bills. All right, we're starting off on a good note, y'all. All right, bill moves unanimously. All right, that was quick, harmless. We'll move on to our next bill. Ian, do we have Delegate Vogel or someone from his team here yet?
No, sir.
Okay, so we'll move on to, let me see. We'll move on to House Bill 993. I believe there's no amendments on this bill, correct, Ben?
Yes, that's correct. No amendments.
No amendments. Okay, Ben, can you briefly remind us what this bill does? I think it was fairly simple. It was a good bill.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. House Bill 993, real property, short-term rentals. What the bill does is prohibit a governing body of a county or municipality from enacting a local law or ordinance that prohibits an operator. That can be a tenant, the owner, from offering a property as a short-term rental solely because the operator is a lessee or sub-lessee of the property. And then local governments can enact a local law or ordinance prohibiting an operator from operating more than one property in the jurisdiction as a short-term rental if the operator is a lessee of the property.
Got it. Okay, yeah, it just pretty much allows people to rent out their leased properties to short-term rental companies. Thank you. I see we have a question from Delegate Adams.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, you got a tenant that's living in a rental property, and you're allowing that tenant to Airbnb the unit. Is that my understanding?
It's yeah. So yeah. Well, I'll let. I guess we don't have. I guess that's why you need the bill sponsor sometimes. But I'll let Ben, if you want to answer that question, just to give some clarity.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the bill does speak to that. It provides that nothing in the section may be interpreted as prohibiting a property owner from prohibiting or limiting the use of the property by a lessee or sub-lessee as a short-term rental.
Let me ask my question again and get a yes or no. So it prohibits a landlord from allowing a tenant to Airbnb a rental property?
No.
No?
And sorry, just trying to answer that as best as I can. It says, if it's helpful, it's saying that it doesn't speak to whether or not the landlord can still prohibit that. Yeah.
Okay, so as a landlord in a lease, it normally doesn't allow you to sublet a property. That doesn't change. What you're saying is if a landlord allows it, a local government can't prohibit it under this bill. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I think Delegate Adams, we have someone from Airbnb here, Mr. Gregory.
No, actually, the question's answered. I just want to make sure
Yeah.
that the landlord has control over the outcome here. It sounds like they do. So that's
my understanding is landlord has control of the outcome. This just stops the localities from banning it.
right. Well, that was my question answered. Thank you.
Awesome. Any more questions on the bill? All right. Do we move? Was there a motion? There's a motion. Did we motion to move the bill?
No, move the bill.
All right. Is there a second? All right.
Second.
Bill's moved and seconded it. Any no further discussion? All in favor of the bill, say aye. All right, keep your hands up. All right, it looks like
Hi.
We got Lily's here. Hey, Lily.
Yes.
All right.
Hi.
Great.
Sorry.
All right, thank you. Make sure we get that recording. Lily is here. All right, those who oppose, hands up if you oppose. All right, so it's like we got 2 opposed. Looks like we have a party line vote here. Thank you all so much. 993 moves favorably. All right, we are moving along great here, folks.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I was texting with Delegate Vogel. He's not going to be able to make it. So
Can someone from his office make it?
I don't have anyone else I can ask them. I would, the question I was going to ask is I think DHCD worked with him to amend the bill so it fits for them. So I just didn't know if someone from DHCD can explain the amendments and that it works or it doesn't work with DHCD. If you want to move on to that, I'll keep trying to track somebody down, but to the
No,
extent
I think,
you
well,
want to
that's the last bill. I think I see Mr. Cook here. Are you able to answer that, Mr. Cook?
Absolutely, Chair. Yeah,
All right.
no problem. So when Delegate Vogel came to us with this bill, our original reservations had to do with the fact that it would have legislatively cut off how we handle low-income housing tax credits that we receive from the federal government, which, as you can imagine, would be a problem with HUD and how we actually use LIHTC. In addition to, it would completely upend our qualified allocation plan process that we do annually to determine how we prioritize construction. So we worked with the sponsor to just narrowly define it down to the Housing Innovation Pilot Program that Delegate Stewart put together 2 years ago. So now it is a much more refined version that's very much focused on HIPP, and more than anything else, when we're doing prioritization for educator workforce housing, we are doing it with that funding source in mind. So those are the amendments, generally speaking, how that all works. And we were happy to work with the delegate to get them there. Obviously, don't want to speak for him, but the bill as it stands right now placates all of our concerns.
Thank you so
And the
much.
delegate is on. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. Looks like we have the delegate here. Mr. Delegate Vogel, did you want to add anything else real quick?
No, I think Chuck covered it all.
All right. So, well, I guess real quick, if you just want to, like, as amended, Delegate Vogel, can you just describe, like, give us a 90-second blurb on what the bill does, just so we, understand, remember the purpose, just so people have a context real quick.
Yes, Mr. Chair. So as amended, the bill will make it easier to construct educator workforce housing in the state of Maryland. There are some examples of educator housing in Maryland already. I think the best example of it is in Baltimore, the Renew Metro Baltimore project. In conversations with them and municipalities and school systems across the state, it became very clear that there were a number of regulatory changes that would make it easier for these sorts of projects to happen. This bill looks to do that. We did strip out, as Chuck was saying, all the LIHTC provisions, which were the most concerning provisions in the bill. And I hope the subcommittee likes it.
Yep. So thank you so much, Doug Vogel, and thank you so much for making yourself available.
move the amendments.
All right, we have a motion to move the amendments. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Amendments have been moved and seconded. All in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
If you're off screen, if you're not able to be on screen, if you can make a look. All right, amendments have been moved. Motion to move the bill as amended.
Move the bills amended.
Second.
All right. Bill's amended has been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion or questions on the bill? We have DHCD here. We have the bill sponsor here. Any questions that anyone has before we move forward with any votes? All right, we'll take a vote. All in favor of the bill as amended, say aye or raise your hand. Both actually.
Aye.
Thank you. All right. Oh, wow. We have another unanimous one, y'all. Woo. All right. Bill moves favorably.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Delegate Vogel. I appreciate you joining us. All right. And that takes us to our last bill, I believe. So we've moved 149, 168, and 993. We're now, as I stated earlier, going to discuss House Bill 382, the Maryland Broadband Opportunity and Fairness Act, just so folks are clear on these new changes. As I stated earlier, I've been made aware that the amendments might affect some federal funding, so I want to make sure that we take some time to make sure that worry is not present before we take any votes. So I want to be thoughtful on that. So we're going to have a brief discussion on it. Ben, if you could update us really quickly on what the amendments are, what the bill does, And then I think we have someone from Delegate Fair's office to provide some more context. And then we will have a discussion. We'll give it a 10-minute discussion, and then we will adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. House Bill 382, commercial law, broadband access, low-income consumer programs. The bill as amended, which has been sent out to everybody. This bill as amended is requiring the reporting of information by broadband providers to the Office of Statewide Broadband annually. So mainly the bill has just been converted into this reporting requirement. The other provisions that were struck out were based on some concerns about, like you had mentioned, federal funding. So on page 6 there is really where the substance of the bill is starting. It's about providing a report to the office about availability of low-income consumer programs, verifying the eligibility of customers to apply for the program, broadband service plans offered by the provider, including pricing and broadband speeds. And that's going to be on December 1st, 2027. And then annually thereafter. The bill is also establishing a broadband affordability advisory board to establish a definition for a low-cost broadband service based on a federal definition. And then it provides for the composition of that board. And then it's also, there's also additional provisions related to the work of the existing Office of State Broadband, particularly analyzing available broadband products, low-income consumer plans.
Got it. Thank you so much, Council. So I'll, if someone from, I know Delegate Fair couldn't join us, but I think, yeah, Chief of Staff is here. If you want to provide some context on just what led to the amendments and where we stand, and then we'll open it up for any questions people may have. And I think I'll also open this up just because we're not voting. It's a question and answer. If there's any advocates or people who are interested, I'll open up a 5-minute time for people to be able to ask questions and chime in, etc. So I just want to make sure we have all the understanding that we need. But please proceed.
Sure. I thank you to Mr. Vaught for explaining what the amendments do. Delegate Fair wanted to advance these amendments to kind of remove some of the mandates that were imposed on the service providers. The original bill was sort of, we attempted to tailor it to kind of thread the needle of some of the new federal regulations around broadband funding, but rather than kind of press forward with that, he decided that keeping the advisory board and some of the reporting requirements would be helpful for the General Assembly and the Office of Broadband to sort of understand the state of play of broadband and to develop policy recommendations that flow from the information gathered from the report. So removes the mandates, but just kind of focuses on like, what does broadband look like right now in Maryland?
Got it. And I guess I'll fire off the first question. So by removing the mandates, like what's the difference as to where we are right now in this space versus after this bill passes? Just so I understand, because just want to make sure I understand like what's the key difference in what we're doing here now?
So the thinking behind keeping the advisory board as well as the reporting requirements is still to convene all of the service providers in the state for them to sort of talk with each other and with the stakeholders listed in that group about what is feasible for a kind of, affordable broadband plan, as well as kind of centralizing and consolidating that information reporting requirement. Rather than kind of having to dig through all their individual websites, they'll just report it per the requirement.
More about condensing. Okay, that makes sense. I will now open it up for any questions from members, if you have any, and then we'll then open it up for anybody else on the call who has any other questions, concerns. But I think I just need time to digest the amendments and make sure that everything's good. All right, going once, going twice. All right, I see the warm weather is calling everyone.
Yeah, quickly.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I've asked a question as well. I believe this bill requires a low-income broadband program with minimum speed standard, limits on price increases, and annual reporting to the Office of Statewide Broadband and enforcement under the Consumer Protection Act. How does this amendment changes all those provisions?
So it strikes all of those minimum speed requirements, as well as the Consumer Protection Authority, and just sticks to the reporting requirements and convening of the Broadband Affordability Advisory Board.
Oh, okay. So nothing is there. Everything is strike. Oh, gotcha. Thank you.
Except for the board.
Got you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Delegate, for that question. Are there any other questions?
Madam Vice Chair, hand is up.
Okay. Yes, Madam Vice Chair. Oh, no, you're good? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Delegate Queen, is that yellow thing behind you keeps making me think it's a hand, but it's not. I think it's your background. There's like a yellow thing in your background that you have. It looks like a hand on quick glance. We can't hear you if you're talking, but
It's a yellow pineapple. Okay, I need to
Okay, yeah.
change my
yeah, I keep thinking it's a
background.
hand. I'm like, oh, she got a good question. Okay, all right. All right. Seeing that there's no more questions, I think that if anyone has any deep dive questions, I know they can reach out to Delegate Fair's office or to Council, Mr. Voigt. With that said, it sounds like we are good to go. There will be another meeting tomorrow during our normal time. I just want to let everyone know that as we get closer to crossover, you're probably going to see a few more meeting times. I'm hoping that I can break it up so that, our Wednesday meeting will block out that time, as I've said, keep that 90 minutes open, because we might have some deep dives on some of our bills that are heavier. But these shorter meetings, I might try and squeeze in for us to get some voting done. You might also see them, as you saw on the floor today, several subcommittees met right after floor, so like from noon to 1. So I think that time might even be better, so we can be done after bill hearing. So just be aware. My team will email you. If you have any questions, let me know. But with that said, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. We are
I'll beat you in
adjourned.
punch.
All right. I'll see you all momentarily. Thank you all.
Noon to 1, you need to do lunch.
Are you offering?
No, if you're gonna do a noon to 1 meeting, you better do lunch.
Doing lunch. Well, you got to bring your own lunch. Just bring your
Oh
own.
no, that's okay.
For one of these, I'll do that. For one of these, I'll do that. It'll be pizza, but